Hello.
I know.
Welcome to the Candy Podcast, episode 732. I was telling Sarah I found a very mysterious item in my car, and I was like, "What is this?" I thought, "Is this a screwdriver? Is this a for real like a multi-tool?"
I could see how it could be a thick. I see where you're going with this.
A pan flute.
A pan flute. What if that's so funny?
I had to ask Adam. I said, "What is this?" I found this in the car, and he's like, "That is a vape pen." I had never seen one in like this shape, at least, or not connected to somebody's face. So,
we're not connected to anybody's face. That's
somebody
hilarious.
left it in my car. Okay, welcome to the show. How's my Sarah Louise?
She's so good. Actually, who knows what she is right now? This episode is coming out on what I think might be my very last week or day of vacation.
This will be what you're already back, but we had to record it ahead because we got to edit and July 24th it'll come out.
Oh, okay, so I am back. I'm probably tan.
You're back, but yeah,
and
you're
hopefully
probably
I'm in a good mood. But I will say this is the day, like in real time as we record this. This is like the day before I'm going to leave, or 2 days or whatever before I'm going to leave for my trip.
Yeah. How you feeling? Stressed?
Yeah, but not for the normal reasons. Not for normal travel reasons.
Okay.
I have realized, and I really don't know how to fix this. I'm a therapist. I do not know what to do in this situation.
Yes.
So, like, I need to crowdsource and need help from my Suze. I was, well, you guys know, you've been listening to the podcast for a long time. When I would go on vacations with my ex-husband, you guys know.
So funny.
You've been listening. Yeah. You've been through the ups and downs, the old, the highs and lows, all the things.
The husbands, the boyfriends.
Yes, exactly, and all that in between. I never planned on trips. Like when I was married, he would just plan the trip. I would go on the trip. It was very like usually wasn't like, hey, where would you like to go? What kind of trip do you plan? Like, it wasn't like a thing where we were both involved in the planning process. And, I was on like the happy to be here train. It was fine. And even though like they were fun trips and it's fun, we went to great places and everything, because of our, oil and water kind of nature.
Dynamic, yeah.
The dynamic we had and my inability to speak up and like assert my needs and blah, blah, blah. Trips were really stressful. Okay. I'll never forget that the saddest I ever was when I was on a yacht in Capri. That was like the saddest I ever was in my life.
That's awful.
Awful. Like, people are like, how could you even be that? Well, when you are in an unhappy relationship and you feel trapped and you feel unheard and it didn't even matter where I was. It just felt like I was.
Well, and I'm sorry, but if you are on a boat, you are literally trapped also.
Trapped. It felt like I don't know how to get out of this and I don't know how to fix this problem. So I don't have a lot of like positive experiences on trips to
and then you're usually on a challenge, which is traumatic.
And then okay,
yeah.
That's actually a really good point, because that adds to it that all these trips have really been out of my control. And then I make attempts to regain control in some unhealthy way that just leads to conflict and disagreement.
Stress, yeah.
Totally. So here we have the complete opposite of that situation. I feel so secure in my relationship. I feel so supported. We both we're part of the planning. We are really, it feels different in so many ways, but
it's collaborative.
Totally. But I can see how even when we're planning it, I get this like edge about me, this tone, this like assertiveness that's almost like can easily come off as bitchy. And I mean, it definitely 100%.
Our first fight was when we were traveling.
Yes. I can get into a travel mode that is not good.
Aggressive.
You are so kind to put it that way.
I know. I mean, don't we all?
and so I am trying to be so self-aware and trying to, like, really set myself up for success. And I talk to Eli about how, like, this is going to be a struggle for me. And
that's
like,
sad. Because do you feel like it's Pavlovian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is like, I was just reading this article today and we talked about this. You and I think we talked about whatever article I was reading. It was kind of like a once a cheater, always a cheater. And it was this study on how, like people who have cheated before are more likely to cheat in future relationships, but also they had in there is that people who were suspicious of their partners cheating before will continue that into their next relationship and it'll only grow and like, exponentially.
And self-fulfilling half the time.
Yes, correct. So all these things. So I'm trying to recognize the, like, I don't know, old tapes that I'm playing in a new relationship that don't need to be like that. Basically, I'm asking, how the fuck do I be chill on vacation and not do that?
Right. So yeah, you have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
But I have high hopes because it is a totally different dynamic.
Totally
than
different,
your previous
right?
relationship.
Yeah.
If anyone would like to hear or understand that dynamic better, our most recent episode of Things We Got Wrong features a flashback.
Yes.
Of a fight.
That's a very good example.
He was a guest on Brain Candy, and we played a clip and discussed that whole thing. And for now, Things We Got Wrong is paused because we're busy over here, and my husband's concussed, and a million other reasons, but that one is a good one because it is interesting to reflect on a past relationship and the dynamic. And I know it probably feels scary, but you don't have that dynamic anymore.
Yeah. It feels, that feeling when you almost know what the habitual, like the awareness is there. I know what my habitual behavior is. And it's like, I want so bad to not do that. It's kind of like, I always think of that clip from Austin Powers when he's like, don't pay attention to his mole. And then he just sees him and goes, mole, 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 mole. And like you can't not do it. It feels like I'm like, okay, don't be a bitch on a vacation. And I'm just going to come out there and be like, bitchy,
it's like when someone tells you to calm down.
Right. I'm like, the opposite.
Right.
So I'm trying to just recognize, like you said, that this is not the same. This is not, we don't even fight. We don't even we have discussions about our feeling. And I even can recognize like, okay, I'm getting a little bit, touchy right now. Just so you know, this is that and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm really hoping that
I have high hopes. I don't
good things to report.
I don't have any like, this is going to be enough.
And like everywhere I'm going has a buffet breakfast. So how fucking mad can I be with a buffet breakfast?
I saw a headline today. It was like the return of the buffet. I
saw the same one. I was like, how long into the podcast before I bring up the fact that buffets are back, baby?
They really didn't even take that long. I thought it was either over or going to be a long haul.
Well, it's over for some places. I don't think they're ever bringing back, my favorite place that has a very problematic name, Sioux Plantation.
They had a buffet.
Yeah. It was an all-you-can-eat situation. And I discovered this when I was pregnant. And I ate
so
there
happy.
3 days a week.
That's probably why they went out of business. Did they go out of business?
Yeah,
Sarah
I could be
ate them
of
under
me.
the table.
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
I was like addicted
God.
to kidney beans. I couldn't stop thinking about the kidney beans, but only from Sioux Plantation. What? Weird.
That is so. You're lucky that your
kidney
cravings
beans, ranch dressing,
are...
and there must be something in there, like in whatever's in the kidney. High in iron. Oh, and I have an iron deficiency. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
Well, I'm excited for your buffet of buffets.
It is a buffet of buffets. And then I was listening to the show on NPR, Wait, Don't Tell Me, I was talking about, and the host of the show was talking about the same thing, how buffets are back, and it's a whole thing. And then he's talking about how he loves buffets so much, and he just likes having a lot of options. And I'm screaming into the radio, a lot of a little, you like a lot of a little, or a little of a lot, a little of a lot. that? Like, I was like screaming that at the radio.
Right, because you've thought a lot about this.
So much. I'm like, we're the same. We're the same, sir.
Well,
I was very passionate.
And you know what I wish there was a buffet of? Thrive Cosmetics.
Sign me up for that. Would be my favorite buffet of all time.
That really would, and that's saying something.
Yes, I was very excited to. I did something that made me feel like such a grown up and like have my shit together. I cleaned out my makeup bag and I like washed it.
Oh, isn't that great?
Sewed like
fresh
any,
start.
Like little, there was like a little hole in it. Sewed that up clean. It looked so fresh and new. And I cleaned off all of my makeup and like so it's like all sparkling clean. And then I put up in my little travel pack the things that I thought would be necessary for my trip. And when you're taking a beach vacation, you don't need much.
Right.
It is all turquoise in that bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Thrive's packaging is this very distinct blue.
Yes.
And to me, it's just like the beacon in the makeup bag.
Why would I not use their waterproof mascara or their eyeliner? Using that. The mascara that never, ever runs or turns me into... Yep, using that. I need some nice moisture on my lips, so give me that tinted lip moisturizer.
Give me the tint, baby.
Yep, love it.
You all will love it too. Their products are super high quality. For me, I need something that washes off easily because I, pile it on because frankly, I'm not getting any younger, okay? And the liquid lash extensions, as you know, are our favorite. We'll never try anything else. The Brilliant Eye Brightener, so great for summer. Or you could get the smoky eye. Mine's a light color, so I think of it for summer, but you could get the darker one, metallics, for a smoky eye. We love them. They do good work. They give back to the community. 100% vegan and cruelty-free. We love that. Skin-loving ingredients, no parabens, sulfates, or those other things I can't pronounce. Okay, they have a mission. That's why it's spelled cosmetic, C-A-U-S-E. They give back. They support. They battle domestic abuse, homelessness, cancer, and more. You have to try Thrive Cosmetics. See for yourself. Right now, you get an exclusive 20% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 20% off your first order. Do it.
Okay, so first story I want to talk about, besides, me being on vacation, is somebody else who was on vacation that... Not like I needed this lesson, because what a fucking dumbass this guy was. Did you see the maybe you saw, they actually have a clip of him doing it. The British tourist who carved his initials and his girlfriend's initials into the fucking walls of the Coliseum?
I cannot.
Here's what I like about archaeological sites, or like these are they UNESCO sites? Is that considered one of those?
Oh,
maybe?
I don't know.
But they are not like museums. You know how when we tell you guys stories about some dumbass who like defaced a valuable work of art, the museum's like, oh, okay, well you have to say I'm sorry and you're not allowed back.
Yeah,
here
it's
for
like no big whoop.
No big whoop. Well,
yeah.
Not the people of not the people in Italy at the Coliseum.
What'd they do?
Like,
Death penalty?
Hell no. What
did they do? Death penalty? Like,
oh my God, wouldn't that be funny? They're like, you actually have to go in the Coliseum. We're bringing back the lions.
Sarah, that's hilarious.
That would be really funny.
That is so funny. Yeah, like they're bringing it back. Just this is what they've been waiting for.
Okay, you did not know that we've actually had the same laws since the start, and nobody's been dumb enough to do this, but here we go.
The person that filmed him, though, that person was not with him, or
was not with him.
But did they say anything at the time?
The person said, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? Why are you doing that?" The person who I feel I do feel bad for, like the people who have to see his fucking initials carved in there, and all of us, but I feel especially bad for his girlfriend, who they named in the article. And let me tell you,
she was just a witness.
He carved his initials and her, like, his name is Ivan and her name is Haley. So it's like Ivan and Haley forever or something like that.
No!
Like their initials.
Jesus Christ.
ID plus H, whatever her last name was. So,
but she was there. Why didn't she tell him to stop being a jackass?
She's dating the kind of jackass who would do this.
Yeah.
Does that tell
She's
you
part
all
of
you
the
need to
problem.
know?
Don't feel bad
exactly.
for her.
So I'm like, this, if there were ever a reason to break up with somebody on a vacation, carving, I'm like, you fucking idiot. That I would.
What would you do if Eli was like, do you
up,
think I should carve my name into the, what would you do?
If
that's like the worst red flag ever, right?
I would slap the whatever he was holding out of his hand.
Domestic abuse.
Immediately walk away. And I would demand like a 4,000 word essay on why he thought that was even remotely a good idea. And then an apology letter to be submitted to the Coliseum folks.
Yeah. How old was this doofus? 20?
Yeah, we do know. I think he's 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he lives in Bristol.
Oh my God.
27-year-old. Okay.
That's too old to be that stupid.
Way too old. What do you think he does for a living? Yeah. Okay. Susie, we can definitely think about the other dumbasses you know. People are going to be mad at me when I say that. But I just want you to think challenge related.
I know. That's where my head went.
Yeah. Yes. That is the right thing.
Dumbasses.
That's the right thing for where your head to go.
Personal trainer.
Yes. Yes. Oh. First guess. Guys. Did you hear that shit? First try.
That is hilarious.
This is everything I wanted from this episode and more.
Hashtag not all personal trainers.
No, totally not all personal trainers. But
I knew exactly what she was referring to.
Those personal trainers who feel offended that we're saying that, no,
not
the personal trainers that we're talking about that then make them feel embarrassed to be personal trainers. And in the same way you and I say we're podcast hosts, but not that kind of podcast hosts, like the real kind. It's like
we get it.
We totally get it. I'm not talking about you guys listen. I'm talking about that other person.
The stereotype.
Yes.
Writes on the Coliseum.
I'm actually out of breath and winded from the excitement and enthusiasm.
We need a personal trainer. Did you say that they have determined the punishment? Or
yes, they have.
What is it?
Not, and they're serious. Between 2 to 5 years in jail and a 15,000 euro fine.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. That is a big prison sentence for being
Maybe it's
stupid.
Either or. 2000. You know how they say that of like, remember that those like FBI warnings that would be on our movies? It'd be like duplication of this movie is. It was so funny because it would always say like piracy, and I was like, man, they really hate pirates. Like I was a child, I just thought like people really have it out for pirates. I also used to think that there were a lot that something was wrong with the veterinary industry because there were so many homeless vets. But then I realized when I grew up what that meant. So I was like, I don't understand why there's so many people who have such high degrees.
They don't charge enough.
We're talking when I was like 8 years old, people. This was as a child. I could feel, and I was like, why are there so many homeless veterinarians? My mom was like, no, but that's cute.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, this does, so the piracy laws that would come out, they'd be like, fines of $100,000 or 5 years in jail kind of thing. This feels like that.
Okay.
Like,
I hope that's true because don't you agree, or maybe I'm being too easy on them, but that seems harsh to 2 to 5 years.
Defacing 2,000-year-old
I understand what you're saying, but like nobody was hurt. Like no person.
Oh, this is true. This is the victimless crime. Yeah. And also like, don't you think a little bit of sandpaper like on the Coliseum, like I don't think anybody will really notice if you just.
That's hilarious. I mean, I know I would think, but like anybody that heard that would be like, she's mad about graffiti, but she wants to sandpaper.
I'm just like, just a little, just to rub it right off. Like.
Yeah, like what is that called? A magic eraser?
Yeah, just magic eraser.
Those things really are amazing. It's miraculous.
I mean, amazing.
Think of what that could do for their brand.
To clean your scuff marks off your shoes yet?
Of course.
What are you waiting for? That's so good.
Yeah.
It'll make your shoes bright and white.
So we're not sponsored by Magic Eraser, but if Magic Eraser would like to.
Totally. I'll do a commercial from freaking A. It sells itself.
Is he sorry? That matters to me.
It doesn't seem like it.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing that I'm not. And wouldn't you break up with him? I would too.
Yes.
I think she's not.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that is Stand By Your Man? The whole world thinks he's an idiot.
The whole world. Like, it is kind of fun when everybody has like I know it's so messed up, and I do, but like, you know, if it would be one thing if he were apologetic or felt remorse, but it feels like a lot of like doubling down, kind of like, what? Like, you know, and you're way too old. 27, please. You're 100 years ago, you're like approaching your final days, like your end of life. Like, this is, you're an elderly man.
Oh man. It's so weird because I understand like tourists, we all have seen like an obnoxious American or whatever when we're out traveling. But typically, if you have the means to travel at all.
Very good point. Very good point.
Right?
We need to put some context up around this. That is a good point. This is who this guy is. He's
like, this
got
isn't
the
Honey
means to
Boo Boo or
travel.
something.
This is not that.
Europeans especially are very aware of the history shit.
Well, come on.
Like, we don't know. We're dum-dums over here.
Right. We're like, well, America, let's blow some of it up. 4th of July.
I'll tell you
fingers off.
What I don't want to blow up, and that is my phone, because that's where my Rocket Money app lives.
I love
and I can't get enough of it.
It's the best.
It's life-changing.
It really...
I love how serious you get.
I do. Well, because, like, this is money. And to kind of connect it to, like, what we were talking about earlier, when I was married before, I didn't have any control over my finances.
Yeah.
I felt very, like, at the mercy of other people's decisions and like unaware of what was going on. And then afterwards, there was so much anxiety around that. It felt like too overwhelming. I don't want to know. It's easier for me to just like shut it off and not look at it. But what I've gotten from using Rocket Money is the feeling of confidence and security in like my financial situation, and not that worry or that fear of opening up my app. It feels like I know what's going on. I don't have like ways that I'm like money is
hemorrhaging money.
Purging money. Yeah. Exactly. I don't have that feeling anymore. And I feel like I'm making less of those stupid mistakes where you're like, oh, fuck, why didn't I can't believe I forgot to do that another month and cancel that thing. And then you get mad at yourself for doing that.
Right.
For $5 a month to free myself of that burden, of that emotional stress.
It feels empowering.
I pay 10 times that much at least.
Yeah, it's this feeling of like, we all are inundated with so much information every day. Even, you know that thing where like you can't remember your password to something and how it feels like your whole life is like crumbling because like you can't figure it out. There's too many passwords. It's like that, but with subscriptions. We sign up for something. We intend on canceling it before the trial is up. We forget. This keeps track of that. So you cancel your subscriptions for you and tell you which you're still signed up for. That feels good.
So good.
And then you see where you're spending your money. You can see like charts of like how much you made versus how much you're spending. It's very, very empowering, like I said, and it just feels like not as scary. Because I tend to put my head in the sand because, you know, sometimes that feels right. But this makes it so you don't want to do that. It's a personal finance app. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, helps you lower your bills. Like they'll negotiate your cable bill or whatever for you.
Yes, they did it for my car insurance.
Yeah, you can make them do the work. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions. Manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/braincandy. That's rocketmoney.com/braincandy. rocketmoney.com/braincandy. Yeah. Okay, Yeah, so that guy's a dumbass. Whatever.
Yeah. And like no woman would do that.
I can't picture it.
I honestly can't picture a woman carving her and her boyfriend's initials into the Coliseum.
Ugh. The Coliseum.
I know.
You've been there, right? By the way,
I have. In fact, we got kicked out of the Coliseum because my little brother was climbing all over everything, and also he was basically the child who was like, no, like he was being chased.
A child is different.
Yeah, he's 4 doing this, right. And it's Jordan. So Jordan, you couldn't keep on the ground when he was 4 years old. We would have to call. Like monthly, would have to call the fire department because he would have scaled the tree, like the tallest tree in the neighborhood, and my mom couldn't get him down. He's like 4 years old and up at the top of the tree, and my mom's like, "What the fuck?
That is horrifying."
What do I do? Like now, there's an awareness of this with people who are neuroatypical and need to move their body, and like parents like build gyms in their house. They're like, "Yeah, my child just needs to hang upside down for an hour, and then he's fine." And that's what like my brother needed. My brother needed like to run around and get all the energy out and play, and then he could sit down and focus and do all that. So, yeah, he was climbing all over everything, and how I remember it is he had a little whistle, and somehow like we had this like my mom must have given it to us like safety or something like that. We get lost, we like blow a whistle or something. The security guard also had a whistle.
Oh,
and the security guard blew the whistle at Jordan, and then Jordan started blowing the whistle at the security guard.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, toot, toot. And he was like mocking him with the whistle. And my mom was like, we got to get out of here. This is like, so we got kicked out of the Coliseum for like causing a ruckus back in the day.
Sarah was expelled.
Not me.
Ejected.
Guilty by association. My brother did it. I was like,
I could just picture you like, I don't know him. I don't know.
I was like, control yourself. I was like the oldest sister, please. Bossing him around, being like, Jordan.
Oh, my God.
I always say that's why I was so good at having Jordan on the challenge as my partner, because I was so familiar with yelling the name Jordan.
Scolding him, yeah.
So like just rolled right off the tongue. It's such an easy way. It felt like easy to do. Right. I have no problem with that. Okay, another travel story. This one, just as dark in a way. This happened in Bangkok, Thailand, just a few days ago at the international airport in Bangkok. They're still looking into what happened, which tells me that this was absolutely the fault of the airport, and like this went wrong. Mm-hmm. The woman was using one of those like moving sidewalks.
Yeah.
The wheels of her suitcase got stuck under a part that was broken. It somehow pulled her leg under there, and she had to have her leg amputated from above the knee because it got caught in the like elevator, escalator, the moving walkway at the airport. Holy shit!
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that
her left
is
leg came caught.
Horrific.
It caught so bad that amputated above the knee.
Right. Come on.
Like it got trapped under the belt, and it is
that's unreal.
She was medically airlifted to the closest hospital that told her we can't reattach your leg, and then she didn't want to take that as she's like, no, I want a second opinion. So then they transported her to another hospital where they were like,
I don't blame
your
her.
leg is gone.
My God.
And then this is so it says that the cause of the incident is still under investigation to find the facts, blah, blah, blah. They said we may need to set up a fact-finding team, whatever. This is so the airport's fault, and it's like so obvious. This part blew my mind. They shut down that walkway and had it repaired and back up and running in 20 minutes. You mean to tell me that this was a problem that took 20 minutes to fix, and this woman lost her leg as a result?
No.
I would ask for all the money.
Yeah,
How much,
right.
whatever all the money is. I want that. What's
They
the
should
most?
make that Coliseum guy pay and then call it even. You know what I mean?
Just even. There you go. Arm for a leg for a man. Can you believe that?
That is terrifying because, we've been to that airport, number one.
Yes, you have. We have. Both of us have been to that airport. Yes.
It's not like some, rinky dink. This is an international
That is
hub.
Just during the first quarter of 2023, that airport logged 6.15 million arrivals, people arriving into that airport.
Do you think? See, I'm victim blaming. Like I'm thinking this
What
was
did she do?
like what's in her bag?
What
if it's like a sickle?
So you know how at the end
Machete.
there's that yellow part where all of a sudden it turns yellow, like the end of the walkway. It's like those little teeth that are there.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
The photos afterwards showed that there were some of those teeth were missing.
Come on.
So it looks like there was a gap or something and her wheel got stuck and then somehow must have snatched her leg. If this were a child, it would be dead.
Okay. Yeah, that's terrifying. I hate it.
And I am going to be so careful walking across these.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the weirdo that's taking the big giant step at the end or jumping off. Cause,
like Elf.
This is why I wear my Rothy's at the airport because there are no shoelaces to worry about.
Yeah, right. You don't want an AWH.
I do not want
right.
that. Oh, God.
I know I don't want to make light of it, but just something. Right. When you are at an airport the next time, pay attention how on those moving walkways, you know how there's the voice, right? It's like, moving walkway is nearing its end. Please attend your something and prepare for whatever. There's always two voices. Both are speaking English. One is a man and one is a woman. Why are we doing that? I want to know. Because, do they think...
I haven't even noticed this.
It's not different languages. It's both English and one is a
man
dude
and a woman
lady.
Do you think it's because women will only listen to one and men will only listen to another or something like that?
I don't know, because I would think we would both listen to men. I mean, we're pretty trained to do that.
No. Right.
But
somehow when I switched Alexa to a male voice, I listened to him less. I got mad. I was like, don't tell me what to do. I was mad when Alexa was a male voice and showed up.
Recording makes you pay attention to it. If it changes. You know how if you're on hold and it's music and then it'll switch to somebody talking and you think you're not on hold anymore, but you still are?
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. I do too.
Oh my God. In planning for this trip, Eli, because there was a whole bunch of shit that went down. I didn't know this until afterwards with United. Apparently, a whole bunch of flights got canceled.
Yeah.
United, and they were bad. We went back and forth. Eli and I trading off being on hold because we needed to get some of our flights booked with points.
Yes.
6.5 hours.
That you were on hold?
6.5 hours.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It was 4 different phone calls, one single phone call that we had to do over the course of the day because they'd be like, okay, we'll call you back. And this time, you have to, all that. One single phone call was 2 hours and 36 seconds. What?
I cannot
on being on hold for 2
this.
hours and 36 seconds? That's insane.
I have more to say about it, but you know what else is insane? Yeah. Is how fast my hair is growing.
This is insane. I know what you're going to talk about, and I am so...
This is insane.
So, I was saying this on the other podcast, because Nutrafol is also a sponsor in there, and I will say it on here. I love taking all the credit for people having amazing results of a product.
It's kind of like I told you so, but a nice version.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's what it is. I have multiple friends who are my closest friends are using this and are grateful for it. And it feels like I single-handedly saved their life. I don't
kind of you did, because as you all know, I have suffered the tragedy of a hair disaster. Man. And in that moment, you think it's over for me. I had a good run.
Right.
I looked okay for a minute, and it's over. Those days are over. I'm now Dorothy Zbornak on the Golden Girls.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then Nutrafol comes in and is like, dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
They're like, don't worry, I got you. And what they got you with is faster hair growth, thicker hair growth, healthier hair growth.
Yes.
And it is fantastic. It's a supplement. I take it every day. And then your hair grows faster and you can deal with like thinning or whatever you're dealing with regards to hormones.
More scalp coverage. Yes.
Yeah. You don't want to look like a weirdo, right? And it feels so superficial, but it's really important. So you can grow thicker, healthier hair. Yeah, it's the crowning glory. The Bible says it. What more do you want? Support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code BRAINCANDY to save $10 off your first month subscription. This offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Okay. Yeah, so I remember one time I was what?
No. What? Go ahead.
Oh.
I was going to say I have more to say about the Walkway thing, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm not done. Don't worry. One time I was at JCPenney. I think it was JCPenney. And I saw a child who got their foot. We were doing the podcast at this
I remember.
time.
Yeah, no, you said it caused you to have a fear then.
Totally not okay for like that shook me. I felt like I still can remember. It was totally traumatizing. For me, the viewer, I wasn't even the child or the parent. Like those things, I'm telling you.
Just today on BBC, there was a thing about a North Carolina roller coaster that was shut down because
I saw this.
A person, like a passerby, was like, "Hey, there's a crack in it."
Oh, we're talking a crack in the fucking metal frame holding the whole
like the scaffolding
thing up. Like
and I'm just thinking, because you say, you know, like we all get on these moving walkways, escalators, elevators, with or roller coaster, trusting the safety measures, the inspections, whatever. Well, how do you really know? I mean,
how do you know?
You can't live in fear, but you
down. Like, I saw that picture. That was like a full... And that's what this airport said. This airport tried to say that they perform safety checks every day.
So what do you think?
And then once a month they do...
Well, tell me what is the problem? How does stuff like that happen then?
I don't think they really did the safety checks that they were claiming.
What about the roller coaster?
Oh, fuck. I mean, I don't know.
I just don't know how that happens.
I can't believe that I ever got on carnival rides. Like, you know that one that spins you around so fast that you can't move off the walls? That could be where my anxiety started.
Well, and I mean, it is physics. I get it. And maybe that's more reliable than like mechanical function.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm not going to go flying
force.
off, but like I do imagine that thing just breaking loose from whatever it is and just like taking off into outer space. I don't know. Right? We
put a lot of faith in people, and I don't know if you've met people, but they're really stupid.
Well, this is what is really terrifying is that companies are making it so the people at the top get paid more and the people at the bottom need to be doing the same job or more work for less money or more hours. Yeah. This is happening with the train stations. This is happening with the airlines. This is happening with safety things. And when you pay... I was watching this clip. It was a clip of a guy who was in his like yearly review at his job with his employer. And the employer was like, you've worked here for 3 years. For 2 years, you were our number one employee and number one in sales. And you've dropped down to like what happened last year. And he said to her, I asked you 2 years ago when I got when I was the top seller, I asked you for a raise. And you told me that my fee was comparable to the median average salary of somebody in this position. In fact, it was right underneath the median salary. So because you are valuing my job at a fair market price, I am going to deliver a fair market amount of effort in that. And you don't want me to be number one. You don't want to pay me like number one. You want to pay me like below average worker. I'm going to give you below average work. And so that was a way he worded it in a way that summarized what I think a lot of people are feeling of like,
you're so right.
You are giving me below average pay and expecting above average work. Why the fuck would I do that? And so
you're
people
so right.
are giving below average work, and it's turning into these major disasters because we don't want to pay people.
If you're cutting corners.
Yeah, they're cutting corners to do their job. But if you paid me well and you told me through what you paid me and how you took care
that
of
you're
me.
Valued.
Not you. You are doing great.
Yeah.
I feel very taken care of. But as an employee, like if my company said that they value me and they showed me through their actions that they value my having me here, then I would show them through my actions that I valued being employed here, and that's how it works. Like, you know, Trader Joe's employees, they take care of those guys, and those guys are nobody's fucking happier than Trader Joe's employee. Those guys are so
they
happy.
Seem great.
They seem so great.
I remember.
You know, Costco and Trader Joe's, they're so happy there because they take care of their employees. People, fucking take a page out of these guys' book. You don't need another yacht. And by people, I mean like business owners, not Bezos. Are you listening?
I was in high school. I remember in Pittsburgh, we have an HOV lane. You guys call it carpool lane. Yeah. And it's one lane. And so when it's the commute in, that goes into town. And then in the evening, it goes out of town, northbound. And so there was an accident where there were cars coming both directions and people died. And I said to my dad, how could that happen? Right. And he said, well, because you have someone that thought they could take maybe 20 minutes off their day by cutting a corner, because usually it would be fine. And maybe for months it was, and they kept getting away with it and cutting corners and whatever. But on that day, it didn't work out. And so if that was probably negligence at the time, but what you're describing is so much more likely to happen if people feel undervalued, underpaid, they're stressed, they're tired, whatever. Mistakes are more likely to happen. You're so right. And I'm glad you pointed that out because I guarantee you that's what's happened. Yeah. In a million different ways, not just these.
That's like the biggest thing.
Exactly.
That's the biggest way that we see it is that's what the train situation is. When we are seeing more accidents, especially for this day and age, this month, we can send somebody to a fucking moon, but we can't get a train across the track because they weren't doing the safety inspections that they should.
Right. Come on. They are understaffed or whatever. Yeah, you're so right, Sarah.
It's very important.
Not okay.
So, I'll
tell you what else is important, and that is seeing properly.
Vision? Seeing? Out of your two eyes? Spectacles?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say. It's another thing you got to get checked.
Yeah, right. Don't cut corners with your eyes.
No.
I am blind as a bat. I didn't have this problem, but I am not getting any younger, as I often point out. And so, you got to sort it out. You got to get corrective care. Yeah. And thanks to Pair Eyewear, not only is it corrective, I look like $1 million. I look adorable.
Cute and easy to go between inside and outside with the little
clip it on, baby.
Yeah.
I get those prescription lenses and then I can clip on the sunglass part. Mm-hmm. Or you could clip on different styles and quirky colors and all that jazz if you want it to match or be thematic. Mm-hmm. And it's affordable. It's super easy. You do it online. You can do the digital or what do they call it? Try on.
Virtual
I don't know
trial.
What. Virtual. That's the word.
I got
That's the word. The top frames start at just $25. So you get a pair and then you can get a bunch of different top frames. Elevate your summer looks and get 15% off your first pair when you go to paireyewear.com/braincandy. That's pair, Pair, eyewear.com/braincandy. You're right, Sarah. That was you got a little sanctimonious. So did I. But you know what? We had to do it. We had to do it. We regret nothing.
Oh, God. Losing a leg. You're just like walking through the airport. Next thing. Really?
Where was she from? Was she from Thailand?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. It didn't say.
I wonder. Because
Not in the
she's
article I read.
probably real mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. Thank God it wasn't a kid.
That kid would be dead.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay.
Horrible.
I read another article. This was interesting. So, there's been a lot of, we've even talked about this on the show, that the use of psychedelics and different like mind-altering chemicals in therapy has been very helpful for curing things like PTSD and addiction, and it's been something that they're like doing more research on, and a lot more clinical trials. So there was recently a clinical trial that was done on MDMA, and MDMA in combination with talk therapy. And I read an interesting article in BBC about how a dose of MDMA and a therapy session basically reformed a white supremacist. Did you read this?
No.
Oh, Susie, I'm going to send it to you. It's fascinating. So,
oh my God,
yes.
Sarah.
Totally reformed him. This man, his name is Brendan. He was once the leader in a U.S. white nationalist movement.
Oh my God. I am very rarely blown away on this show because, this is kind of what we do.
I've been sitting on this story for a few weeks now. What am I doing? Sometimes I really do bury the lead.
Because
forget about
I guess I never thought that it was like chemical or like
it is
brain wiring.
Way more
I thought it was just fear or
witches.
Well, I guess fear.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying.
It now.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So good. Yes. So
wow.
This study was done, and how he ended up being part of it is even an interesting story in and of itself. So he ended up getting in trouble with, this is what happened. So he was outed. He was the leader of this white nationalist organization.
Right.
And then he was outed as a white nationalist and got fired from his job. So he was already in this place of like, this is leading me to not good things in my life. Where's all the support? Like, what's happening? And so he was looking for change, which is a big, important component.
Well,
is there has to be the willingness to, like, try something new.
Right. So the gal from the Megan Phelps Megan Phelps Roper from Westboro Baptist, once she started to be exposed to somebody who she really liked who was not in agreement, she was like, maybe. Like, you need something.
Yes. You need
to
something
trigger
that's like motivating a change or something like that. So 2 months before he became part of this trial, he had lost his job. And
oh my God, this is great.
So he did the trial. He did the he participated in the trial, and then he wrote the study. Like, he wrote a letter, emailed the people who conducted the drug study. And he said,
"Oh, good.
This changed my life.
Okay,
and
that's
I need you to know why." And he said, "Just Google my name." And so they Googled his name.
Goosebumps.
Learned who he was.
Oh my God.
Goosebumps. Susie, goosebumps. Look at that. Agreed. Same. Like,
For real.
And he was like, you need to, I'm not even going to tell you. Just Google my name. And then you will know. And so he talked about how what this did was made him connected to an intense feeling of love. And when he understood love, he understood compassion. And when he understood love, he was like, why would I want to do anything that wasn't rooted in love?
Yeah.
Why am I doing things that's rooted in hate? And he completely switched his, like, it reformed him. He is now talking about how, like, he was, even when he was in, he said 30 minutes into taking the pill, he started to feel a particular, wait a second, why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this way? And he began to wonder, why did I ever think it was okay to jeopardize relationships with just about everyone in my life?
Oh my God.
That's profound.
That's profound.
For a leader of a white nationalist movement to be then talking about that. He said he noticed what made him the happiest was the experience of touch. And he started progressively rating the experience of touch as higher and higher. And when he relished in the pleasurable feeling, a single powerful word popped into his mind: connection.
Oh. Right. Exactly.
Excuse me while I shed a few tears. I mean, he said, this is stuff you really can't put into words, but it was profound. I convinced myself that relationships with other people, I conceived of my relationships with other people not as distinct boundaries with distinct entities, but more as a we are all one. I realized I've been fixated on stuff that really doesn't matter, and it just so messed up. And it is just so messed up. I'd been totally missing the point. I hadn't been soaking up the joy that life has to offer.
Oh man.
And then that night, he reached out to a Chicago anti-fascist action group, and he connected with the group to become an anti-fascist. Like,
oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me ask you this. Yes, it is. That's fantastic. And you do hear that a lot with like hallucinogenic psychedelics, of that same word, connection, or all one. Like as soon as they're under that influence, they realize like the boundary between me and you and anyone else is imagined. It's the same thing we hear from astronauts when they get a view of space, of Earth from space, and realize boundaries or borders are so silly and arbitrary and are like point. Made up.
Right.
But it's very hard to simulate it, like without intervention or whatever. But like, okay, number one, my mom and dad both were, they say they were addicts who then stopped using. And then my mom always talks about how like you kind of have to replace it with something. Like if you're that type of person, some people it's exercise. For my mom, it was religion and God and all that. My dad was sleep. That's what he traded it in for. Okay, so do you think there's just like a certain type of brain who is maybe that addictive type for whom this would be particularly effective? Like, because in his case, he went from one radical side to another radical side.
Well, it does say, so it says Brendan is still struggling to make connections with others that he craves. And the article says, when I visited him, he had just spent Thanksgiving alone. He also has not completely abandoned his bigoted ideology, and he's not sure if that will ever be possible. He said, there are moments when I have racist or anti-Semitic thoughts, definitely, he said, but now I can recognize that those kinds of thought patterns are harming me more than anyone else. So
wow,
it feels
how strange.
Like he knows that this is the part where it's difficult, is that he has a deep knowledge that this is not true, but he has habitual, like these behaviors that provide him the feeling of connection and support, even though it's rooted in something that goes against his ideology now. So how do you this almost explains why people will stay in religions even if they don't fully believe, because the community and the what that offers, or they'll stay in cults or whatever, because the connection that offers is more valuable than the having to come to terms with the
I'm shocked, though, that he still has moments where he is anti-Semitic or racist
I think it's the wiring. Like, it's almost like the automatic thought, like in the same way that I, like, you know, when I have to work on this myself, or anybody who has, like, low self-esteem, or, like, that first thought of, like, nobody will love me or nobody is there for me. And then you have to go, no, that's not true. A lot of people love you. And, again, you're never, like, the first thought and the first feeling are automatic. And I think that's what he...
All right.
Still fighting. And it's only been a few months. I mean, this was like...
Yeah, you're right.
Brand new. It's going to take him a while to get some new wires in there.
If you're someone who can't relate to those worldview, it just feels like, how did you ever think that was true? Because let me tell you,
fear.
People of every kind suck.
Yes, totally. 100%.
And people of every kind don't suck.
Are awesome. Right. Best and the worst.
How do they decide that it is like a skin color or a religion that is like... That is the weird part I don't get. But okay, I'm just glad he's making progress. Yeah. Why the hell is he alone, though? He must have a bad personality separately.
I'm hoping that this article... Because don't you feel like... There are so many groups that would like open their arms to somebody who wanted to reform and wanted to like...
Yeah, go to Unitarian Church.
Yeah.
Problem solved there, Brandon.
So happy to have you. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that is fantastic though.
So good. Yeah.
Okay, let me add one more question though.
Yes.
As a brain gal yourself.
I'm going to put that on my business cards. Brain gal.
A cynic or a skeptic.
Yeah.
Might think, okay, when he was bigoted, that was stupid. But also, like, this sort of, like, psychedelic thing of, like, we're all one. Mm-hmm. You could argue that's just a different chemical. It's just a different wire. Yeah. And it, like, that's not a thing. So, like, what do you say to that is what I want to know. It's like, what is true? What is real? I mean, we're getting real, like, peace, love, dope here, man. But, I mean, I want to know what you think.
Well... I always tell people, because clients will ask me sometimes, like, how do I know that I'm in my wise mind or not in my wise mind? Like, how do I know what to listen to? The wise mind is never rooted in fear, doubt, or worry.
Okay.
The wise mind may have those thoughts, but it's not reacting from a place of fear, doubt, or worry. It's like a place of...
Objective truth.
Objective truth. And so I think when you get down to that place, love and connection is an objective truth. Hate and bigotry is not one. And so that's it. If we can distill everything down, love, like that is it. Love is all you need.
Yeah, it's universal.
It's like that. It's universal. It's like that connection that we as humans need. And if you can get down to that, then there you go.
That was a good answer. That was put you on the spot.
Closer. Good. Yeah, I'm glad. I was like, did I talk about this? I don't know. It's been there for a long time. I've been meaning it.
But you know what? This is what I'm learning too.
The article's great, and the story's great, and his art, it's great.
What I have learned recently, because I've had so many epiphanies, as Sarah knows, that a lot of times, like something that you watch or see or read or experience at one time will be inconsequential. But if you are in a certain moment of your life, it becomes... That's what... I know this sounds silly, but that is actually what happened with the Arnold documentary. I needed to see it right at that moment.
Suze, this is a real thing. In therapy, we call them transformational moments. And if I don't know if I've showed you this, but there's an actual... You guys can Google this. It's called the Satir Change Model, SATIR, Change Model. And it is a graph with performance on one axis and time on the other. And it's a way to graph change over time. And you think change is linear. You think like, oh, I decide I want to change. I learned something new.
It's directional.
Just goes up. No, it does not. First, there's like resistance to the idea. Then the performance goes down as you enter this stage that they call chaos, where it's like the dumping out of the drawer.
I had that.
Of like, holy shit. Yeah,
I had that.
That was the chaos stage. And that lasts for a while.
Yeah, it was really unpleasant.
You have the moment that is what they call a transformational idea. And that transformational idea can come from anything, an outside source, a thing that you read, something that you've seen a million times
something
that you
dumb.
just think of differently, something dumb. It doesn't matter. But when that transformational idea happens, that transforming idea, all of a sudden that line of performance starts going up, and then you enter what they call the integration phase, where you start integrating that concept. You use that as that transforming idea. You integrate that with your actions. You start to see the performance go up and the change happen, and then you'll hit like a new status quo. But that
For
is
real.
what you are, and it's weird things. It'll be like, yep, ever since I did this, I couldn't look at it the other way, and that's it. And if it's an Arnold documentary, it's an Arnold documentary. It doesn't matter what it is. I will tell the same story to clients 1,000 times, and then one day they'll be like,
Yeah.
huh, I'm so glad you said that. I've never heard that before. I'm like, okay, let's go with that.
Right, because there is really not new information, right?
Right.
We all have heard the same stuff. We've said the same things on this show even.
Right.
But whatever, the moment was right. And for me...
The moment was perfect for this guy.
Yeah. Anyway, the other separate thing I want to say is the next time we record an episode, you will have experienced your vacation.
Yes.
I am predicting
Okay.
peace,
Yes.
positivity,
Yes. And tons of hotel
and
sex. What?
clarity. Yeah, but that can come from that too. Like
Yes.
the relief of less stress can.
Yes.
It's pleasure, you know.
Clarity.
So yeah, that's what I'm predicting. I hope I'm right.
Suze. I love
Good
this.
things are coming. Yeah, I do.
You
But
guys
in the
listening to
meantime, we're lucky that we gave you guys all of this content for her
it. And,
absence.
watch out
'cause-
for walking elevator or walking.
yeah, just take
moving
just
sidewalks. Just like
be
pay
the 2%
attention on the moving
that
sidewalk.
chooses steps and the regular floor.
yeah, I like
Only
a floor.
2%.
I'm gonna go. Only 2% of people choose that.
That's right.
Oh, I'm about to be one of the 2% right now.
Be a 2%er. It's
Be a
good for your
2%er.
heart. It's good for your body, and apparently good for your legs.
Keeps you walking.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.